In a bustling city filled with the hum of commerce and the clatter of carts, there lived a wealthy businessman named Ramesh. He had built his empire from the ground up, starting as a humble shopkeeper and expanding his trade to include multiple shops and warehouses. Ramesh was known for his sharp mind, tireless work ethic, and unwavering dedication to his business. However, despite his success, there was one thing that weighed heavily on his hardest son Arjun. Arjun was a young man of 20, blessed with charm and intelligence, but he had grown up in the lap of luxury, shielded from the hardships of life. He spent his days lounging with friends, indulging in games, and avoiding any form of responsibility. Ramesh had tried many times to instill in his son the value of hard work, but his words seemed to fall on deaf ears. Arjun's carefree attitude and lack of ambition troubled Ramesh deeply. One evening, as Ramesh sat in his study, poring over his accounts, he decided it was time to take drastic measures. He called Arjun into the room and said, "My son, today I want you to go out and earn something. If you fail, you won't have your meal tonight." Arjun was stunned. He had never been asked to do such a thing before. The idea of working for money was foreign to him, and the thought of going hungry terrified him. He stammered, "But father, I don't know how to earn money. What should I do?" Ramesh's expression was stern. "That is for you to figure out. Remember, if you return empty-handed, you will not eat tonight." Arjun left his father's study, his mind racing. He had no idea where to begin. The thought of approaching strangers for work filled him with dread. Desperate, he went to his mother, Meera, who was known for her gentle heart and boundless love for her son. "Mother," Arjun pleaded, tears welling up in his eyes, "Father has asked me to earn money today, or I won't be allowed to eat. I don't know what to do. Please help me." Meera's heart ached at the sight of her son in distress. She couldn't bear to see him go hungry or suffer under his father's harsh demands. Without a second thought, she reached into her jewelry box and pulled out a gold coin. "Here, my dear," she said, placing the coin in his hand. "Give this to your father and tell him you earned it." Arjun's face lit up with relief. He thanked his mother profusely and hurried back to his father's study. When Ramesh asked what he had earned, Arjun proudly handed over the gold coin. Ramesh examined it briefly, then said, "Throw it into the well." Arjun was confused but obeyed without question. He walked to the well in the courtyard and dropped the coin into the water. It disappeared with a soft plop, and Arjun returned to his father, who simply nodded and said, "You may eat tonight." The next morning, Ramesh called Arjun again. "Today, you must earn something once more. If you fail, you will not eat tonight." Arjun's heart sank. He had hoped that his father's strange demand was a one-time test, but it seemed he was mistaken. Once again, he felt the weight of fear and uncertainty. He went to his mother, but this time, Meera shook her head sadly. "Your father has sent me to stay with my parents for a few days. I cannot help you this time." Arjun was at a loss. He wandered through the house, his mind racing, until he came across his older sister, Priya. Priya was married and lived with her husband, but she often visited her family. Seeing her brother's distress, she asked, "What's wrong, Arjun?" Arjun explained his predicament, and Priya, though sympathetic, knew that their father's intentions were to teach Arjun a valuable lesson. However, she couldn't bear to see her brother suffer. She reached into her purse and pulled out a rupee coin. "Here," she said, handing it to him. "Give this to father and tell him you earned it." Arjun took the coin, grateful for his sister's help. He returned to his father and handed over the rupee. Once again, Ramesh instructed him to throw it into the well. Arjun did as he was told, feeling a twinge of guilt but also relief that he would be allowed to eat. That evening, Ramesh sat alone in his study, deep in thought. He had suspected that Arjun's earnings had come from his mother and sister, and his suspicions were confirmed when he saw how easily his son had parted with the money. Ramesh knew that if Arjun was to learn the value of hard work, he would have to remove all sources of easy help. The next morning, Ramesh called Priya into his study. "Daughter," he said, "I need you to go stay with your in-laws for a few days. It is important that Arjun learns to stand on his own feet." Priya understood her father's intentions and agreed, though it pained her to leave her brother in such a difficult situation. She packed her belongings and left for her husband's home, leaving Arjun with no one to turn to. When Ramesh called Arjun that morning, he said, "Today you must earn something on your own. Remember, if you fail, you will not eat tonight." Arjun felt a wave of panic. With his mother and sister gone, he had no one to help him. He realized that he would have to face the challenge alone. Arjun left the house, his heart heavy with dread. He wandered through the bustling streets of the city, unsure of where to begin. He approached a few shops, asking if they needed help, but most turned him away, seeing his fine clothes and assuming he was not serious about work. As the hours passed, Arjun grew more desperate. His stomach growled with hunger, and the thought of going without food terrified him. Finally, he came across a shopkeeper who was struggling to carry a heavy trunk into his shop. "Do you need help?" Arjun asked, his voice trembling. The shopkeeper looked at him skeptically but nodded. "If you can carry this trunk to my house, I'll pay you 2 rupees. Arjun hesitated. The trunk was large and looked heavy, but he had no other options. He took a deep breath and lifted the trunk onto his back. The weight was immense, and he could feel his muscles straining as he walked. The sun beat down on him, and sweat poured from his brow. His feet ached, and his shoulders burned with the effort. By the time he reached the shopkeeper's house, Arjun was exhausted. His back was sore, his hands were trembling, and there were red marks on his shoulders from the weight of the trunk. The shopkeeper handed him 2 rupees, and Arjun took the coins with a mixture of relief and pride. When Arjun returned home, his father was waiting for him. "What have you earned today?" Ramesh asked. Arjun handed over the 2 rupees, his hands still shaking from the effort. Ramesh examined the coins, then said, "Throw them into the well." Arjun's eyes widened in horror. "Father, I worked so hard for this money. My whole body is aching and I have rashes on my back. How can you ask me to throw it away?" Ramesh looked at his son, his expression softening. "Do you understand now, my son? When you threw the gold coin and the rupee into the well, you felt nothing because you did not earn them. But this money, which you worked so hard for, is precious to you. You feel the pain of wasting it because you know the effort it took to earn it." Arjun stared at his father, the truth of his words sinking in. He realized that his father's harsh demands had been a lesson all along, a lesson in the value of hard work and the importance of earning one's own way. From that day on, Arjun was a changed man. He no longer spent his days in idle leisure, but instead took an active interest in his father's business. He worked alongside the laborers, learning the intricacies of trade and the value of every rupee earned. His hands, once soft and unused to labor, grew calloused, and his back, once bent under the weight of laziness, now stood straight with pride. Ramesh watched his son's transformation with quiet satisfaction. He knew that Arjun had finally understood the importance of hard work and the responsibility that came with wealth. One evening, as they sat together in the study, Ramesh handed Arjun a set of keys. "These are the keys to my shop," Ramesh said. "From now on, you will manage it. I will guide you, but the responsibility is yours." Arjun took the keys, his heart swelling with pride and determination. "Thank you, father. I will not let you down." Years passed, and Arjun grew into a successful businessman, much like his father. He managed the shop with diligence and care, always remembering the lesson he had learned that fateful day. He became known for his integrity, hard work, and generosity, earning the respect of everyone in the city. Ramesh, now an old man, watched with pride as his son carried on the family legacy. He knew that his harsh methods had been necessary to teach Arjun the value of hard work, and he was grateful that his son had embraced the lesson. One evening, as they sat together in the courtyard, Ramesh said, "My son, you have made me proud. You have learned that the fruits of hard labor are sweet, and that wealth, when earned through effort, is truly valuable." Arjun smiled, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, father. Your lesson changed my life, and I will always remember the importance of hard work and responsibility." And so, the legacy of hard work and perseverance continued, passed down from father to son, a testament to the enduring value of effort and the rewards it brings. If you like the story, then subscribe, share, and press the bell icon of the channel for more interesting stories.